Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It's time to tackle the essential film noir collection 3 box set from Imprint. If you know me, you know I love my film noir movies, and I had 4 films here, all of which I knew very little about, and to be honest, I didn't really want to. The excitement for film noir for me is just throwing them on and seeing what kind of sordid story we're going to be flung into. The first one in this set, number 148, is The Strange Love of Martha Ivers. It's got Barbara Stanwyck, Van Heflin, Lisbeth Scott. That's the 3 main actors on the front, and I just threw this one on to see what it had to offer, and almost instantaneously I was met with a very familiar name, Kirk Douglas.
Hello.
Like some kind of MVP of the movie, he's just kind of thrown in there, not even on the main cover of the artwork. I was really surprised with that, but it was a welcome surprise. Now, the basic story of The Strange Love of Martha Ivers, let's see if I can boil this down. So there was 3 kids. You've got Martha, you've got Sam, played by Van Heflin in the older age, and you've got Walter, played by Kirk Douglas. These 3 kids, we've got Sam on the wrong side of the tracks, we've got Walter and Martha, who live in this large estate, ruled over by this kind of matriarchal figure in the form of Ivers. And when they're kids, something happens, the old woman dies, and Martha inherits all of the money and power.
We heard a noise and we came down. We saw a man, a big man. He was leaving. Out of that front door he left. See, it's open. She was lying there.
We jump a number of years. Sam has run away. He kind of seen what's happened with a struggling death of the old woman. And he comes back later on just by happenstance to discover that Walter and Martha are now married. He's the DA. She's the sort of rich and powerful woman of Ivers Town, the town by her name. And Sam just inadvertently walks into a situation that he really wants no part of. He meets a young lady there called Tony, sparks up a relationship. Unfortunately, she is picked up by the police for some kind of transgression, and he used his knowledge of situations and of knowing the DA to help get her released a little bit early.
I met a girl, and you can help. You don't look like you need help with any girl. Now, this trip out I do. This kid's in jail.
But because this is a film noir, things never go quite as planned. Now, we get Barbara Stanwyck in this movie, who's always great, but for the most part of the movie, she's given very little to do. This is basically Sam's movie. We're watching this character who flirts the borderline of being a nice guy or being a user, someone you're never quite sure whether to trust at the start, where he's going to fall on either side of this kind of coin. But very quickly you kind of pick up the fact that Martha and Walter are just horrible characters.
I suppose it'd be stupid to ask where you were.
Yes, it would.
Sam's not leaving, is he?
Ask him when he gets here.
I just got my answer.
Then there are no more questions.
From that shocking act in the first scene, we kind of have jumped a number of years to these guys. These characters have become powerful, rich, and have no moral compass. They're just horrible people. And you get some wonderful portrayals, particularly from Kirk Douglas, whom, as Walter, knows that he's the second best man every time. And he kind of uses it to his advantage. He's alcoholic, he drinks a lot, he's struggling to deal with the stresses that have been put on him thanks to his relationship and the choices that have been made along the way. And he's just kind of a wonderful character.
I had a dream, Sam. It was about you. In my dream, you were not a handsome corpse.
It's this relationship that kind of surprised me between Tony and Sam, a couple who have nothing to do with Ivers Town, don't want anything to do with it, but are drawn in by the duplicitous nature of both Martha and Walter. These are characters that can't seem to think that they're not the centre of the world for everyone involved. And although the movie feels a little bit off, it feels a little bit melodramatic in parts, there are long sequences where nothing really happens. You're just revelling in the fact that these people are in each other's lives and twists and turns happen.
You feel good.
Yeah, I'm high. I had a drink.
What was in it?
A bucket of gold. The dice came up 7. Tony, you bring me luck. I'm gonna wear you like a charm.
It's one that's rather captivating, and I particularly love the finish of this movie. The last 15 minutes are wonderfully tense and just built up expertly well, where we have Martha, we have Sam, and we have Walter in a room, and we know they all have ulterior motives, and we know at any point allegiances could be made and somebody could be killed at any point. But it builds that tension expertly well. It really creates a strong narrative there of whom should pair up, and it kind of jumps through all of them at certain points for moments, and then it gives a wonderful payoff, something that I wasn't expecting in this noir movie. It gives you as a generally a pretty happy ending, which I wasn't expecting, which I really enjoyed, and it really just kind of teed this one off for me.
Tell why you made me hang that man. Tell the truth.
I told the truth. They were like leeches, both of them. They wanted everything.
All I ever wanted was
everything
you.
you
I'm
are,
nothing.
everything you have,
You
I
gave
gave
me
you.
nothing.
Then let go!
I thought The Strange Love of Martha Ivers was a wonderful noir movie. Good performances. Stanwyck does what she can for the first half, but when she turns up later on, she's great. Kirk Douglas is wonderful, and I liked Van Heflin as that kind of skeezy guy, but with a heart of gold. It kind of turns out to be. Elizabeth Scott as Tony is good. She's stunning to look at. Her performance is probably the weakest out of the 4 of the lot of them, but this is a really interesting film noir, one that I can strongly recommend, and if it's an indication of what to get in this set, I'm really looking forward to moving on to the next one. Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts on the film. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. Don't forget to hit the like button, and in the description box below you can see links to the Patreon, the membership program, or manvfilm.com, where you can support me in various fashions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.